I mean, we can only find people that are like us, that are on our path when we are on our path. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like we're connecting to a higher frequency. Mm-hmm. And I mean, one of the questions you had about like spirituality is, it's funny because like I didn't think that this had any place. I mean, chiropractic talks a little bit about like philosophical ideals and spirituality to some degree, but I think it's crazy because like when you are really truly aligned with your purpose and on your path, I mean, stuff really does happen that is freaking wacko. Like it just happens and you're like, okay. And the weird part is like when you are really aligned with your purpose, it happens and you just keep rolling on because you're like, this is supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what happens. Like when you're on the right path, stuff happens. It just happens. Like it manifests for you. Mm-hmm. I think the scary part about manifestation is sometimes when you're seeking it, like as an action, that's when you're going to be let down because you're almost like coming from a place of entitlement. Like if I do this, then I will get this. Mm-hmm. Like true walking the path is like you're on the path and you're doing the things and life is happening for you and it just happens. And then you're like, oh, that's good. And you keep going. It's not like you're trying to like even the score of, well, I put in this much work and I did meditation for 15 minutes today or 45 minutes or 2 hours. So therefore I should be getting this out of it. It's like, that's a dangerous place to live.
Yeah. Well, I heard this quote this morning on a podcast. It was on Jay Shetty and it was with Roxy, whatever I don't know her last name. But she was saying manifesting is not magic, but it can feel magical, like when you're in the midst of it. And I think that's what's really key. And a lot of people kind of haven't understood that completely, where it's like when you're in alignment and making things happen and attracting the things you need and want, it feels like right place, right time. This is amazing, but it's not magic. Like you're saying, I do X, Y, and Z, I get money or whatever you're trying to manifest. So it's just, I'm like, that was a really well put quote because that's totally how it feels.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of ties into having gratitude too. Because I think, naturally when we're manifesting, there's things that we want to happen and we feel like, hey, I'm doing all the things, I'm checking off all the boxes, where is it? But I think when gratitude, when you have that, it's almost like trusting like, okay, this is what I want or something better. And being open to that as well. Because sometimes with manifesting, at least for me personally, I want these things, I'm allowing them to come. And maybe it doesn't happen the way that we think. Right. But it's like trusting, okay, maybe this isn't exactly what I thought, but there's a better reason for this. And so I'm going to trust that this is for my best self